Hey, what's going on everybody? It is Shibsa here. Welcome back to League of Legends today, playing Singe in the top lane. We're up against Zac this game. That's a top lane matchup I don't think I have on this channel, and one I haven't played against in a very long time. I guess based on this game, it's not that good. But yeah, today's video is not going to be so much about the gameplay. The gameplay, I am of course doing my full AP, dank meme, Singed in normals until the Singe changes come along. I actually played a ranked game with him, it didn't do too bad. But still don't feel too confident playing him in ranked with the way he is at the moment. But this game, I'm actually playing Tier and Rod of Ages Singed. I'm doing the full noob mana Singe build. I decided to give this a shot because I saw that Singe 420 posted on Singe mains and showed that he had a pretty good win rate. With a full mana build. I still don't think it's that optimal, but I thought I'd give it a try, you know, in normal games. And it actually works surprisingly well. It's actually alright. I still don't think it's optimal, but I guess we'll have to see. The main thing I want to talk about in this video, a lot of people have been asking me to talk about this, and I've been putting it off, just to see if there are any other changes that are going to happen, but it seems that this is what has happened on the PBE. Singe changes. Obviously, as a lot of you know, there was a big fiasco with all Singe mains saying Singe is shit, Singe is some changes. Eventually we got Manwolf Axboss to respond, and he put forward that Singe needs some design changes to the balance team. And basically, the PBE shows that some things have happened, and that is very, very good to see. So I'm going to talk about those in this video, a little bit about them, what I think, and what I think they'll mean for Singe's builds in the future. So let's go over what these changes are then. So basically on the 1st of this month, June, right here, Singe was up there on the PBE, and basically they made some changes to shift him to a more offensive playstyle, give him more damage, but reduce his utility and usefulness in his ult department specifically a little bit. So let's go over these changes right here. So basically, on the 1st of June, they changed Singe's Poison Trail. The total damage was changed to from 44 to 140 damage to 45 to 125. So basically the base damage is a little bit weaker late game. However, they changed the AP ratio from 60 to 80%. Now I think, I don't remember how, I forget how his poison works now. I think it ticks like 6 times or something for a certain amount. But basically they've buffed his poison rate to 25%. They buffed his poison damage by 25% AP. So, to put that into perspective, Singe's poison, once again, I'm not exactly 100% sure how it works at the moment, but it used to tick once a second for 3 seconds with a 30% AP ratio. So that would mean you would do 90% of your AP for one even the minimum amount of damage you'll ever do with your poison will be 90% of your AP. Now, imagine it being 120% of your AP. So, yeah, 25% increase, which is good. It means that basically, late game, when you have a lot of AP, you will do a lot more damage than the old Poison Trail would do. More than enough to offset the change in base damage late game. More than enough. The damage of the Poison Trail early game, by the way, is still very, very similar by the looks of things. But the idea here is basically, we're going to incentivize you to build more damage by making you do more damage. Which is very, very good. And may see the resurgence of like the Rod of Ages and the tier build, or maybe the Rod of Ages and the tier build, as you're going to see in this game. Obviously, this game, the changes haven't taken effect. This is played on live, not on PBE. So you're not seeing these changes in this game. I'm just explaining them. But I'm going to hypothesize on what I think is going to happen. So yeah, basically just a straight up damage buff to his Q. Obviously, full tank Singed, a nerf to full tank Singed, because the change does nothing for him. And obviously, he's not just being universally buffed, he has been balanced a little bit more. So that change is going to come with some removals of power from other areas of his kit, specifically his ultimate, but we'll get to that. So, now his Fling. This is a very, very big change. This is a great change. His Fling's mana cost, okay, has changed from 100 at rank 1, 110 at rank 2, and 120 at rank 3, to 70 at rank 1, 85 at rank 2, and 110 at rank 3. So your level 1 Fling costs 30 mana less. Your level 2 Fling costs 25 mana less, and your level 3 Fling costs 20 mana less. Basically, Singe's Fling always had this ridiculous mana cost that was just retardedly prohibitive, especially early game. This is going to allow you to be much more aggressive early game, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot more Singes taking Ignite in top lane. I know I definitely want to be taking Ignite and going for kills with these changes here. And also remember that Singe's base damage, it's only been nerfed by... I don't have the exact numbers of every point of damage at every rank. But basically, at level 1, his poison has changed from 44 damage to 45. So it's actually a tiny bit more early on. I think they just nerfed the base damage later on. So his base damage before he has any AP early on, he's just got his Dark Seal, it's going to be pretty much the same as it is now. But your Fling mana cost is going to be lower, which is nice. Now, here is the interesting thing. Here's the damage of Fling. Has been changed from 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5, and 8% of the target's maximum health as magic damage, depending on level. That has been changed to simply 6% at all ranks. So, the basic damage, the base max health damage that Fling currently does, is just changed to 6%. It no longer scales up. However, that bonus damage will now scale 2% for every 100 AP you have. So basically for every 50 AP you get, your Fling will do an extra 1% maximum health damage, magic damage to the target that you fling. So when you think about it, you only need 100 mana to get yourself the power of a level 5 Fling. Okay. That's pretty fucking good. Okay, that's pretty fucking good. Whereas before you would have to level up Fling 5 times to get that bonus damage. Now, it just has scale it on AP. So this means if, for example, in this game, I'm going to have like 400 plus AP. That means my Fling will do, once, you know, I've got all my items, it's going to do 14% of the target's maximum HP as magic damage, as opposed to the 8% that it did in the past. So once again, encouraging those high AP builds, which is great. The Singe is not meant to be played as the tank that he is now. He's meant to be an AP bruiser, and this is taking us there. However, like I said, this is not just a straight up buff to Singed. By looks of things, and this is all experiment, you know, new changes could be announced tomorrow that completely changes, but this is just what we have so far. Singe's ultimate Insanity Potion. First of all, good news. Its mana cost has been lowered from 150 to 100 at all ranks. Okay, that's really good, especially early game. It is very, very prohibitive trying to keep up enough mana when you're proxying for your Insanity Potion, because you always, if you don't have your Ghost or your Insanity Potion early on by proxying, you're in trouble. You shouldn't be proxying, because you can be easily ganked and easily killed. This will mean you no longer have to straddle that 150 mana mark, especially early on, especially if you're going for like the Dark Seal build where you're not getting mana items like Tear or Catalyst. You don't have to straddle that as much. You have a bit more leeway. That, combined with the fact that Fling's mana cost is lowered early on, is really, really good for proxying, I will say. And also, it was just a sorely needed change. I mean, what fucking champions have ults that cost 150 mana these days? It's retarded. So good change. Unfortunately though, early on, level 1, the stat bonuses you get, so the health regeneration, the mana regeneration, the AP, the movement speed, it's been reduced from 35 to 30 at level 1. So not as good at level 1. Now it's been buffed from 50 to 60 at level 2, and from 80 to 90 at level 3. So you take that 5 less at level 1, but you will get 10 more at level 2 and level 3, which is good. However, and this is the big thing, his ultimate used to be just 25 at all levels. So, sorry, the duration of it used to be 25 seconds at all levels. Now the duration scales. And this is the big thing, and the thing I think that's gonna... Yeah, it's a good change for proxying, it seems, but it's also a bad change for proxying, and this is why. The duration of the ult now scales with level. So it used to be 25 at all levels. Now it is 15 seconds at level 1, 20 seconds at level 2, and 25 seconds at level 3. Now, the 20 seconds at level 2 is, like, whatever. I mean, we can probably live with that. But the 10 seconds less at level 1, that is huge. That's a drastic reduction in your ult time. That means if you're going for an engage, if you're like, I'm going to all in this top top laner, annoying top laner. Let's say somehow a Fiora makes a mistake and you're like, I'm going to go all in. Slippery old Fiora. There's so many times I've been fighting against Fioras and Rivens that I've used the entire duration of my ult, my level 1 ult, fighting them. Now that's not going to be as possible, so you really need to make sure that you don't jump the gun and just think, oh, I've got these 25 seconds of all these increased stats, I can do this. You won't have as much early on, so you have to keep that in mind. It's very, very important. So yeah, basically those are the current changes. So increase in power to his Q, increase in power to his E. These changes are both designed to incentivize building damage, which is good. Because before it was just like, why would I build damage? I die too easily and I don't do enough damage, even with the damage, to be able to survive, to be able to be meaningful in fights at all. With this, I don't see how it really solves the dying too quick problem, but it does make you more powerful if you decide to go those mana builds. It incentivizes building them, which I like. Now, as for how these will affect item changes, based on what we've seen here, Mana Singe could come back. If they keep his passive the same as it is now, which I don't know if they're going to change it. Honestly, with the way they're making these changes, I wouldn't be surprised if they kept his current passive, maybe just buffed it. Maybe, you know, you get 35% or 40% of your mana, max mana, as HP. That could work. And if they're trying to incentivize, you know, these old Tier and Rod of Ages builds that Singe always used to build, that could be a way to do it with these changes. So, to me, I'm not 100% sure if they're just going to change his passive at this point. This update did not change his passive or his W at all. So, I'm not sure what they're going to do there. But based on what I can see here, it seems that they're trying to keep his passive. I don't know if they'll keep it in the exact same as it is right now. I think maybe there will be some minor tweaks. Maybe they'll add some stupid fucking minigame to it. Whatever. We'll have to see what they do. But yeah, based on these changes, my intuition says they're looking to keep his current passive mostly. Which, if they can build his kit around it and make it so that, you know... Because the problem with the passive was always... Okay, the passive says build mana items. But the rest of his kit doesn't. The passive says, yeah, build mana. Incentivize. Here's your incentive to build mana. But where is it in the rest of his kit? A good Singe can conserve his mana and not need that. He can go for more damage. That's what the whole double Dorans thing was, that originated in Season 4. Where Singe mains... that's where it all started, basically. The abandonment of mana build started in Season 4. Where a lot of Singe mains just said, hey, you know, why the fuck are we building Tier? Or why the fuck are we building Rod of Ages when we can just build Doran's Rings, be a little bit more conservative with our mana, and do a lot more damage early on. Hopefully now, with these changes, if they're planning to keep his passive the same, what they're trying to say is, we are incentivizing you to build these AP items. We're incentivizing you to build these items that are good on Singed, okay? They provide good stats for Singe. They synergize with his kit. So, Rod of Ages, Tear of the Goddess, Archangel stuff, okay? We could see mana builds come back if these changes stick. But the important thing to note is that these changes were actually pulled from the PBE. Now, obviously, these are all testing. These aren't final. So it's very, very likely that, you know, they're just trying to figure out exactly what to do. And I'm not going to sit here and be, oh, fucking they pulled the changes. Oh, my God, fucking right. Going back in the promise. Guys, give them time. Seriously. You cannot just expect the champion to be perfect if they just rush it out, okay? You need to give them a little bit of time here. We brought it to their attention. We've done our job. We need to leave the rest up to them and hope they don't fuck Singe up. Now, for those of you who are wondering, oh god, they're going to Galio Singe. No, they're not going to do that to Singe, okay? We have all made it abundantly clear. It's been made abundantly clear by everybody. Every Singe main, pretty much every high-tier Singe main, every prolific Singe content creator has said, no Galio change, no Scion change to Singe, no rework to Singed. He just needs tweaks. And that's, guys... Stop worrying about that, seriously. They're not going to be that stupid, I can assure you, okay? I can assure you. It's not going to happen. They're not going to Galio Singed. They're not going to delete Singe and replace him with a different hero. That's not going to happen, okay? Man, Ulfax Boss, you know, basically, in his response to the video I made to him, where I, like, my video was memey and jokey, but I said specifically, this is the one very serious thing I'll say in this video. Do not Galio... Or, do not Galio Singe. Do not Galio Singe whatsoever, okay? There are some champions that maybe need Galioing, Okay, and by the way, what I mean by that is... oh, sorry, Galio or Yorick. They're the two examples, okay? What I mean by that is deleting the champion and replacing them with a new champion, but calling them the same thing, okay? That's literally what the Galio rework and the Yorick rework were. Okay, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Yeah, they're similar thematically, but they were complete changes of champion with just the same name. That is not going to happen with Singe. Manwolf Axboss, I'm pretty sure, even said, like, no, we have no plans to do that at all. And there's no need, like, why would they go through all the effort to do that when they have a fairly solid kit here in Singe, okay? This kit has remained the same pretty much. The same fundamentally. No major reworks, I'm pretty sure. Since it came out, it has stood the test of time, and there are still Singe mains who managed to do well with this kit. There's no need for any major changes. Riot obviously knows that. It's not going to happen. It just needs tweaks, it needs modernizing, and that's what I hope we're going to be getting. So yeah, I hope I have a swage... English. Is it a swage? Whatever. I'm bad with big words. I hope I've sort of dealt with some of your feelings of fear on this subject. Okay, it's not going to happen to Singe. Don't worry, okay? Obviously, I have no proof that it's not going to happen, but it's not going to happen. Okay, they're not going to be that stupid. Singe is fine. You're still going to have the same fun old champion that you do have now. Hopefully just a bit better to play. That's it. And that's what we all want to see, I think. And that's what Singe needs. You know, my favorite thing to build, my favorite item in the game is Rod of Ages. I love just the fact that it gives you so many stats, and I just, you know, pretty much all my favorite champions are champions that build Rod of Ages. Singe, Karthus, you know, these champions, I love building this item. So to see it be able to come back on Singe, to be able to build Tyr again would be very, very fun and very, very nice. That'll be a cool thing to do. Some Season 4 flashbacks. But, I mean, yeah, like, if they can incentivize Singe to build these items, okay? Because what they're trying to do here also, by incentivizing building items like Rod of Ages and Tyr, by the changes they're making to AP, and by, presumably, hopefully, the buff they give to his passive, hopefully they buff his passive. They might just keep it the same, and as long as they buff other things in other areas a bit more, that could be alright. But they're trying to solidify Singe as that late game monster he once was. Because for many seasons, and I was corrected about this by Minish Cap 1, by the way, okay? I've been playing this game since the beginning of Season 3. Like, Season 3 pre-season was when I started playing. So I never knew Singe in Season 1 and Season 2. Like, I've watched games of Singe from Season 1 and Season 2, and I've seen sort of how he played. But the whole time I sort of grew up playing Singed. He was firmly a mid-game champion. He was a mid-game champion. He had, you know, once your Rod of Ages stacked up, or, you know, you got your Archangel Staff, at like, you know, at 20 to 25 minute mark, you were just a fucking beast. You would destroy everything. But then, you know, sort of you would fall off a bit late game as you had to go tankier to deal with the damage threats. You did a bit less damage. Still useful late game in Season 4 and Season 5. Still useful. Very useful. Just not as powerful as you were in the mid-game. Apparently in Season 1 and 2, Minish Cat 1 once again corrected me about this, because I always had it in my head that Singe was always like this. He was always this mid-game champion. And for the past, you know, 3 or 4 seasons, yeah, he has been that. But in Season 1 and Season 2, Singe was a late-game tank. A late-game AP bruiser. He would fucking shit on everything late game. Why? Because what would his build consist of? Look at what items he would build back then. Tyr, Rod of Ages. Both late-game scaling items. Both items that get powerful the more time you give them to stack up. So obviously his late game will be amazing, where just with those 2 items you get like 350 AP or something. Okay, it's ridiculous. Now obviously Rod of Ages used to be a bit more powerful back then. It has been nerfed a little bit. But the general principle still stands. And I think what they're trying to do is, and they've specifically stated this, I believe, Medal has said it in the changelog on the PBE. He said they're trying to solidify Singe's position in the late game again. Try and make him that late game hero. And I would love that, honestly. Because I love playing farming champions that scale into late game. I love Nasus, I love Karthus, and I like Singe, but Singe has always been that sort of mid-game-ish champion in the time that I've been playing. I do hope that they make him a late-game champion again, because that would be cool. And once again, thanks to Minish Cat 1 for the little history lesson on Singe. I really didn't know that. I knew that Singe could have a decent late game, depending on what he built, but all of his optimal builds for all the time that I played were always just the, you know, strong mid-game builds. So, hopefully we do see those late game builds again. And yeah, once again, his ultimate, the nerf to his ultimate doesn't apply in late game. His level 3 ultimate will be the full 25 seconds that it is now. So, yeah. And it is going to be slightly stronger in the late game as well. We still don't have tenacity back on his ultimate, which is sad to see. Maybe we will see that again. I don't know. We'll have to see. But at the moment, no. We haven't seen that. So, what do I think that they should change, really, to incentivize the sort of late game playstyle they're trying to push Singe towards? Well, I mean, that's a really fucking hard question to ask, really. One thing they could try experimenting with is scaling tenacity on his ult. I think that could be an interesting idea. I think scaling tenacity could work, you know, early on. You don't have as much tenacity in the ultimate. You get like 10%. Level 2, you get 20%. Level 3, you get 30%. Maybe not 35% like Merc but you get a decent amount of tenacity. What I think that would do is, it would mean that Merc would not always have to be something that you buy. It's like, oh shit, they got a Morgana. Well, fuck. They got a Graves jungle and a fucking Kalista bot. They got a Morgana. Do I want to be in any fight this game? I have to go Merc Treads. I'd love to go Ninja Tabi, but I'm gonna have to go Merc Treads. And I think that's a really big thing, because Merc Treads are so fucking powerful right now, because it's just AD. It's fucking full AD teams 50% of the time on both sides, with a lot of auto attack based champions. With a lot of Greys in the jungle, with a lot of fucking powerful AD, it's like an AD carry meta at the moment. We got a lot of powerful AD carries at the fucking bot lane. And, you know, whereas in the past, like, just not long ago, I played a game of Singed against an Ashe, okay? Now, Ashe used to be like the fucking best ADC you could play Singed into. Okay, if Vayne's the worst, Ashe is like the best. And Jhin, by the way, was pretty good as well. Not so much anymore, but used to be. Why? Because think about Ashe and Jhin. No mobility whatsoever. Slow, no mobility. So literally what you'd do is, if you caught them out, pop ult, run on top of them with your allies, and just stay on top of them. That's all you do. Just stay on top, just auto-attack them. Auto-attack them, keep the poison on them, and they'll die. There's nothing they can do. They can't get away, they can't knock you back like Vayne, they can't fucking jump all over like an autistic Spurglord like Kalista can. They just have to sit there and take it. And that used to be great, you know, you'd see an Ashe and be like, fuck, that Ashe is dead, I've got her, she's dead. It doesn't matter, she could be fed, it doesn't matter. Unless she's fucking ridiculous, it's fine. Now, however, like, you can't do enough damage to them. They lifesteal it all back, they do absurd amounts of damage, and if you've been forced to go Merc Treads, you would take even more damage because you don't have Ninja Tabi, and you just get fucked. Okay, I tried to 1v1 an Ashe, not too long ago. Not even a very fed Ashe, just a decently fed Ashe. I was decently fed as well. She won! And that baffled me. I'm like, I cannot remember the last time I lost to an Ashe 1v1 as Singed. Okay, that should not happen. When a big, beefy AP bruiser gets on top of a frail, squishy AD carry, unless they're an outplay AD carry, like, say, Vayne, okay, who has a lot of outplay potential, Ashe does not have much outplay potential. She should not just be able to fucking kill the Singed. Straight up. But that's just how it is at the moment. So, I think by putting some tenacity towards the ult, you can sort of lessen the effect of that by making it so that we can buy Merc Treads more often. Of course, the best thing to do would be to fix the prevailing issue, that is AD carries being too powerful at the moment. But whatever, that's a separate topic. I just think that would help. I'm not, you know, of this mind that Singe's ult, by putting tenacity on it, you deny so much counterplay from him. Okay, Singe is all about fucking running at people. That's all he does. He has to run at people to do stuff. Okay? Now, even if he reduces the duration of, you know, a Morgana stun by 70%, or Morgana snare rather, by 70%, okay? That's still like, what? Fucking a 1.4 second snare? For a champion that needs that's only ability to get into a fight is just to run. He can't dash or anything. He just has to run. That's pretty significant still. Okay, it really is. I personally don't see how adding tenacity to Singe's ult back again, at least in this current meta, in the state that he's in at the moment, would be, you know, some big... Watch this fight, by. Look at the amount of damage that I do in this fucking fight with 400 AP, okay? Now, imagine if I was doing 25% more damage. How many of those people would be dead right now? Warwick would be dead. Annie would be dead already. She dies, but she would have been dead before. Warwick would definitely be dead. It's going to be a good change, the poison change, if they... Time to turn on the gas, Nazi Singed, okay? It'll be great. But... yeah, I do think tenacity on his ult should be something they do. Now, maybe I'm alone in this. I know a lot of you think that, you know, he should have it. But there's also a lot of people who say, you know, it could make him too broken. I think, with the state the game's in now, it's not something that's 100% necessary. Now, the argument that I've heard against it is like, oh, you know, if you pop Ghost, Ult, and Righteous Glory, it's undeniable engage. I think Medler said that. You know, we're not going to add tenacity back to his ult because stunning Singe is the only weak point. Okay, if we had tenacity back on its ult, then he can just ult Ghost, Righteous Glory, and kill anybody. Well, no, not really. First of all, if he does that, well, okay, if he's not full tank Singe at the moment, he dies. Because he doesn't do enough damage, even with AP items, to actually kill whatever he jumps on, before he's killed either by it or it and the surrounding teammates. And if he goes full tank singed, then he just runs. Yeah, he fucking undeniable engage. He storms past everyone. He gets to the target he needs to get to. But then what does he do? He flings him. He flings the Ash for like 200 damage, and his poison does like 30 damage a second. Like what? Like, so either way you sort of get fucked, and either way it doesn't really matter. And that's just the way the meta works at the moment. Okay, and I think that by putting that tenacity back on his ult, yeah, like you're encouraging Singe to build these AP items. You're like, I don't build Righteous Glory as it is really all that much. Okay, even before, you know, even before I decided to just say fuck it and play AP Singe in normals, I still didn't like building Righteous Glory all that much. Truth is, I don't really like the item. I've never liked the item on Singed. It's a good item, but I've just never liked it. The thing is, I think, yeah, you can pop Alt Ghost of Righteous Glory with your fucking, you know, fucking, yeah, your Righteous Glory build, and have this undeniable engage with tenacity on your ultimate. Sure, man, I still 100% don't think it's undeniable engage. Once again, Morgana Snare. Bye. Leona Stun. Bye. There goes your undeniable engage. But I think that if you encourage Singe to build these mana items, then putting tenacity in his ult wouldn't be that bad, because if you're building Righteous Glory, you're gimping yourself by not taking advantage of the damage buffs to Singed. Okay? Yeah, if you want to have that undeniable engage, quote unquote, sure, you can have it with that Righteous Glory. But you're not going to have a Rod of Ages, maybe. Most likely, because you probably don't want to stack Catalyst items. Okay, you're not going to have a Rod of Ages, so there goes a lot of damage, there goes a lot of mana, which in turn will help your tier. Your Archangels give you even more AP. You're losing something for it. So I think that could be an interesting change for them to experiment with. Just, you know, consider adding tenacity back on the ult, right? If you're watching this, you're probably not. But consider it. Okay, make it scaling. Sure, make it scaling. Make it, you know, 10, 20, 30. Levels 1, 2, and 3%. Sure, do it. No problem. And sure, there will still be some games you'll be like, shit, they've got like fucking a lot of AP and a lot of crowd control. I'm going to build Merc Shreds anyway. Sure, there are occasionally going to be games like that, and you're going to have a Singe that has like 47 or something %. Fucking, or with the fucking masteries, maybe 50+%. But that's going to be rare. In the meta that exists in the meta that exists at the moment, it is mostly going to be Ninja Tabi on Singed. That's just how it is. Lot of AD. So, at the moment, I don't think it's a bad change to put tenacity back on its ult, personally. Especially since the idea that, you know, this, you know, unstoppable engage with Righteous Glory and all your cooldowns up, which, by the way, it's, yeah, hey, you get an undeniable engage with your ultimate up, which is like a 100-second cooldown, generally. Your Ghost up, which is like 180-second cooldown, and Righteous Glory, which is a 90-second cooldown. So, if the stars align and you have all three of them up, yeah, you have an undeniable engage. Oh, except, you know, then we nerf Ghost and we nerf Righteous Glory. It's like, that argument does not make any sense. It didn't make sense when it was made, it doesn't make sense now. So I think they need to drop that and look at it in a fresh way, really. So I bloviated on this subject quite a bit, but I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to me talking about that. There isn't much else to talk about now. I haven't got much time left in this game, but I'll try and fill the time. So yeah, like this is, as you can see right here, I have 407 AP on Singe with, now in this game admittedly I think I went a bit too ham on the AP. I probably shouldn't have gone for the Rylai's, honestly. Shut up, eBay. I probably shouldn't have gone for the Rylai's. I probably should have gone to Tank on. Probably a Gargoyle Stoneplate would have been good here. I'm going for a Leandry's now, once again. I'm just trolling around in fucking normals. But I would have at least built a damage, Gargoyle Stoneplate right now instead of building a Leandry's. But probably it would have been better to build the the Gargoyle Stoneplate before I even built the Rylai's. But yeah, once again, just trolling, having fun. Gargoyle Stoneplate, I'm choosing here in this game as an example because they have a mixed AP-AD team. And I'm already getting quite a bit of health from my passive because of all the fucking mana I've got. So I can afford to get an item that just has resistances to make up for that. So yeah. And this is why I think they might, you know, they might try and keep Singe's passive. Okay, they may try and keep it because they want to incentivize him building these stacking items to give him a stronger late game. And a way to further incentivize that, well, these items give him mana. So why would we want to change his passive? I still think it would need a buff to work. but I think it could work. You could keep his passive if they continue along with the path that they're continuing on. If they continue wanting to make Singed a strong late game champion. Which I hope they do. I really do, once again. But we'll have to see what they do. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, the Archangel Staff, you know, Rod of Ages and Tear have always been good items on Singed, okay? People, obviously, I will say they're shit. But what I'm really trying to say is there's just better options, okay? Like back in Season 5, it was a better option to go for things like double Dorans. Because you would have more kill potential early on. Just, it was straight up better, you know? What, you know, like, why wait for that power when you can have that power now? Okay? Now, though, okay, like, hold on, I'm getting sidetracked. Back then, you could still build a Rod of Ages on Singed, you can still build a Tier on Singed, you can still build both, and you know what, you could have a decent game. You could have a good game, you could win plenty of games, sure. It's just, you're not maximizing your potential. You're not doing as well as you could be doing. Because you're not taking advantage of the power you can have early game and mid game with those Doran's rings or these Dark Seals. Especially now with Dark Seals, that they give potion duration. That's a big thing. But now, you know, if they're actively incentivizing you to build these items, these stacking items, sorry, if they're actively incentivizing you to build them, then sure, we could see them taking over the quad Dark Seal build. We could absolutely see them taking over that. But I hope we see that. I don't like stacking Dark Seals. I love Dark Seal as an item, don't get me wrong. I love Doran's rings as an item as well. But I don't like having to build 3 or 4 every game. That's not what I like doing. Maybe we'll see, you know, you build 1 Dark Seal or maybe 2 Dark Seals. The thing is, you have to choose, because the more Dark Seals you build early on, the longer you're delaying your stacking items. So the less time you're giving them to stack. Which is a big thing. The longer it's going to take for you to charge up to full power. That's one thing you're always going to have to keep in mind if these changes go live in the way they're trying to make them go live. If they're trying to incentivize making Singed a late game monster. You're going to have to start getting out of your head that you're going to need to build Dark Seals every game. Maybe, you know, yeah, maybe with a lower mana cost on your fling, you can be more aggressive. Like, I think you have to choose. You have to say, am I going to go Ignite Singed? I'm going to fucking take Ignite. I'm going to, you know, build Dark Seals. I'm going to do the build we do now. I'm going to stack Dark Seals, okay? By the way, this is a perfect example of Lifesteal just shitting on Singed. Like, okay, I killed him there, but had I had the buff damage that's currently, well, that was on the PBE, he would have died before he could kill me, most likely. So yeah, you're going to have to make that choice that says, okay, am I going to go, like, full into the early game with my reduced mana cost on fling, with my increased damage on my fucking Q, my increased scaling? Am I just going to put all my money into Dark Seals and just hope that I can get a bunch of kills early on that puts my opponent behind? And in the end, because I've gotten those kills, I'm going to still have the gold to get my stacking items when I need to get them and still be powerful in that mid and late game. Or you're gonna go, you know what? I'm gonna buy like 1 Dark Seal and my refillable potion, or I'm just not gonna buy Dark Seal at all. I'm just gonna start refillable potion, and my first item I'm gonna get is Tier. I'm getting my Tier early on, and then I'm gonna go into my Rod of Ages. And I'm gonna just go full stack. I'm gonna go full farm mode. I'm just going to ignore the fucking enemy laner. Or are you gonna have an adaptive approach that says, okay, hey, this laner I can shit on. Okay, oh, I'm up against a Jack's top. Fine, I'll fucking go the Ignite Singe and kill him heaps of times early. Oh shit, I'm up against the Fiora. Alright, time to go the defensive Singe, take that teleport instead of Ignite, go for those safe proxies and stuff like that. So I think that dichotomy is going to be really pronounced here in the future, if the changes go the way they're making them go. You're going to have to pick. Obviously, one way is riskier, but has a better reward if you can pull it off. Other way is safer and is, you know, is more consistent towards giving you late game power. So yeah, those are my thoughts. And you know, you're going to see, like, look at the damage that I do in this game. I hesitate to say that I carried this game, but I did do the most damage, and I took the most damage. So that, to me, says that I've pretty much carried. But yeah, 43,000 damage, okay? You know, if this was singed in the PBE changes, that would be like 60,000, not really, almost 60,000 damage. Pretty close to it. Okay, that's a pretty big increase, so keep that in mind. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Yeah, I just talked a whole bunch about these changes. A whole bunch of you been asking about it, so here it is. Hope you enjoyed the game in the background. But yeah, take care, guys. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to all the guys on Patreon. Follow me on Twitter. Yeah, take care.